dry ice. And this is the magic of dry ice. Alright, so beginning, first a bit of background. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide. Basically the stuff that you breathe out, except in solid form. Instead of melting into liquid carbon dioxide, it sublimates, turning directly from solid into gas. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take a bowl like this one and put this in, and then using metal tongs, make sure you're using tongs and not using your bare hands because it's very, very cold. You can already see some frost forming on these tongs. Then you press down, and if you get it right, you can actually make it scream, kind of. I'm going to set it off for another piece. This one hasn't been opened yet. This one. As you can see, it makes a very annoying sound like that. And that's because of the vibrations caused by the cooling of this metal that is cooling very, very quickly, right? Because this is really cold. The next thing that you can do is first, you might notice that there's already vapor coming out, and that's what we're gonna do for our next part. So in order to do this, we need to get a bit of water. Alright, so now that I've got some water in here, we can take these, and are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Check that out. I'm gonna put the other one in. And look at that. It becomes an enormous fog generator. Some fog generators actually do use dry ice and just put in a bunch of water and then use like a fan here to like blow it across. And in reality, the fog here is not actually carbon dioxide like you might expect, but instead this is actually cooled water vapor, which has turned into tiny water droplets. This is kind of how clouds are formed, but instead of condensing around the cold carbon dioxide, it has something called condensation nuclei, which is something for a different video. All right. If you think this is not cool enough, well, get ready for the next part, because we're gonna add some soap into this water. First, we need to get these dry ice pieces out. Make sure not to touch them with your bare hands because they're very, very cold. Cannot stress that even more. All right, let's get some soap. All right, so now that I put some soap in here, let's get the dry ice. And this time, instead of creating a huge mass of fog, it creates these awesome fog bubbles that, when popped, create the same type of fog that was in the second experiment. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? Oh, and by the way, you can actually buy dry ice at home. You can just search online for dry ice, and then you can like buy it. This is very fun to play with, but also be very careful. Do not inhale the gases because you may get suffocated. It's carbon dioxide, and it's the stuff that you breathe out. So you probably don't want to breathe it in, because then you'd be lack of oxygen. This gets a bit out of control, in which it kind of is. You can always take one of the pieces of carbon dry ice out, and then it will like pretty much be the same effect, except a bit slower. Dry ice is really fun to play around with. And there's another property of dry ice, the fact that it makes CO2, that makes it also very good for making a fire extinguisher. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so in order to make your fire extinguisher, you'll need these things. A bowl of warm water and pair of tongs and some dry ice. Now you can also break the dry ice into smaller pieces, but I'm just going to leave them like this. So I'm going to get the smaller piece of dry ice and put it in this water. Half submerged it, kind of. Alright, and you can see the thingy that happened before is it starts creating this enormous amount of fog. Right, and now you need to find a candle which you can light. I couldn't find a candle, so I just got a matchbox full of matches. Now, all you have to do, once you got this, put it in here, and check that out. The fire went out. The reason is that because fire, which is basically just combustion, it is powered by oxygen. Now oxygen, if you have a bunch of carbon dioxide, it will mask up the oxygen, basically allowing no more oxygen to like reach the flame, therefore putting it out. CO2 is sometimes used in fire extinguishers, like the one over there on my fridge. So yeah. That's basically it. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit that red subscribe button and make it gray if you haven't already. And like the video. And I'll see you in the next one.